enough money for retirement is a concern for just about everyone, and that includes so-called Generation Xers. Americans born between the mid-60s and the mid-90s won't start hitting retirement age for another 12 years.
But a new report by TD Ameritrade says many believe they're not on track. 37% say they'd like to fully retire, but don't think they'll be able to afford it. 43% say they're behind in their savings, and 49% say they're worried about running out of money once they do leave the workforce. Here to discuss the concerns is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
Why are those Gen Xers so far behind?
Why are we?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. The older Gen Xers, they graduated into the 1987 stock market crash, a quick recession. They bounced back pretty quickly, but for the middle to the younger part of this generation, just remember what happened. A dot-com boom and bust. Then a housing and credit boom and bust, the Great Recession. Think about how many of these people, even if they were on track for retirement previously, had to then invade their retirement accounts just to make do. This is a case of really bad timing, and it stinks because it's hard to really struggle against that. But there are ways to move forward.
I did not realize that Gen Xers carry more debt than any other generation. How and why is that, Jill?
Well, I think part of the reason is that, again, because of their ages, they have a lot of struggles. So it's their kids, their aging parents, this is a sandwich generation, their own student loan debts. They're juggling quite a bit. And when the bad times hit, they had to turn to quick and easy credit. I'm not saying that's a good thing. You know, I'm going to put my certified financial planner hat on. No, that's not a good thing. But we understand how it was accumulated because there were a lot of things coming at this generation at different times in their lives.
You mentioned the kids and the aging parents, the sandwich generation. A term I didn't know, Jill. Thank you for that.
They're not eating sandwiches. They are sandwiches.
So how does that affect planning?
Well, it's very hard. You know, when you talk to financial planners, what they'll say is for a long time, everybody was focused on how do I get my kids through school? How do I get myself in retirement? Now, our parents are living longer. So what we have to do is as we start the planning process, and that's important, we not only look at our own kids, ourselves, and our parents, but there's a real point here where you've got to put yourself first, right? You remember when you go to the airport and they go through your security and you get on the plane, they say, put that oxygen mask on yourself. So too with your financial planning. You really have to say, look, I know there's a lot of things here, but I've got to take care of myself first. I do have to help my parents. I'll do that with my family. I've got to help my kids. But if I am not secure in my own retirement and my financial life is not secure, everyone's going to have to take care of me eventually.
But how do you instill a sense of urgency in a moment when, you know, retirement for some people could be 2 or 3 decades away?
Yeah, this is a struggle. But, you know, think about this. One way I used to do this when I was an advisor is I would say you spend more time planning your upcoming vacation than your retirement.
Right.
And
that's
just
more fun.
Right, that's more fun. So let's talk about how we're going to make this fun. How are we going to get you where you need to go? How can you focus on this? Now, the good news is technology has really started to shape the experience in a different way. There are a lot of calculators out there. The most important thing is to do it. And then you've got basically the idea here is pay down your debt, get that emergency reserve fund. I know, you know, my producer just yelled at me. She goes, no one has 6 to 12 months of their expenses in the bank. I know it's hard, but it's aspirational. So pay the debt down, get the emergency reserve, and start saving for retirement.
First 2 steps. The easiest first 2 steps just to get on the road to this. What are they?
Automate everything. So if you've got outstanding debt, and we know this generation has a lot of debt, put in some automatic payments all the time. Next step, automate your investing. Just a little bit. If it's your retirement account at work, auto-enroll in the 401k.
So you don't even think about it, it just happens.
Take it out of your hands. It sort of trumps all of your behavioral biases. So get the money out there.
Your bad behavioral bias.
Exactly. Stick to the plan. And more importantly, have these conversations with yourself. If you need help, go get an advisor. But again, there's so many resources online. I really encourage people to do it. Automate, automate, automate.
Now is the time.
Well, it is January.
I'm still thinking about that oxygen mask. Jill Schlesinger, thank you very much.